We're very excited about the Obama administration when it comes to education because he recognizes the importance of education. This is a critical part of our competitive advantage that we have internationally, that when people look to cite a business, they look to the United States because they know they can get well-educated, well-trained workers, and we do not want to give that advantage away. In some areas, we are falling behind, and Senator Obama will make sure that we regain our prominence in education. This will mean starting very early with early childhood education, elementary and secondary, and make sure we maintain our commitment to higher education. Early childhood education has been shown to be a very cost-effective investment. It will reduce the need for remedial education, welfare, and crime in the future. Students will be off on the right track, and if they start off on the right track, it's much easier to keep them on the right track. We need to make sure they can read by the third grade. We need to make sure they're headed towards college, not towards prison, and investments in early childhood education will go a long way in making that happen. One of the critical issues for the Congressional Black Caucus is early childhood education. We need to make sure that we get off on the right track, Head Start and early childhood education, pre-K, to make sure that all of our students can read by the third grade. Educators tell me that up to the third grade you are learning to read, but after the third grade you are reading to learn. If you can't read by the third grade, you can't learn after the third grade. So we need to make sure that we get this early childhood education piece taken care of so that people by the third grade can read. If they cannot read by the third grade, there's a much higher likelihood that they'll drop out. In some areas of the country, 50% of African American students fail to graduate from high school. That puts you on a trajectory towards misery. You're much less likely to get a job. You're much more likely to be involved in crime than you would be if you didn't drop out of school. We need to make sure that our young people complete their high school education and have the opportunity to go to college. The Youth Promise Act responds to the choice that we make in crime policy as to whether we're going to wait for young people to join gangs, mess up, and get into a bidding war as to how much time they're going to serve, or make critical, cost-effective investments to get them on the right track, keep them on the right track so they don't get in trouble to begin with. Unfortunately, we've been making the wrong choice. We now lock up more people proportionally in the United States than anywhere on earth by far. In the minority community, it's really off the chart. That costs money that could better be spent in prevention programs to get people on the right track and keep them on the right track. We now have what the Children's Defense Fund calls the cradle-to-prison pipeline. We should create a cradle-to-college pipeline that will reduce crime, give young people better opportunities, and make for a better society. The Higher Education Act that we just passed will make college much more affordable for a lot of students. We've increased Pell Grants, we've reduced interest on student loans, we've supported colleges and universities, particularly historically black colleges and universities that attract many students that would not have opportunities if they were not there. We need to make sure that we are on a cradle-to-college pipeline, not the cradle-to-prison pipeline. The Higher Education Act will help dismantle the cradle-to-prison pipeline and replace it with a pipeline to college. This will make for a much better society.